So how did John and Mary buy a house, not with no down payment? I want to make sure everybody understands this. I'm not talking no down payment. I'm talking nothing out of pocket. Let me guide you through how I guided them through this process. This is a recent client of mine. Obviously, I've changed the name, right, to John and Mary Home Buyer, but they came to me and they were super excited to buy their first house. They were a late millennial, early Gen Zer in that generation. And so I encouraged them to let me guide them through the process. They completed an application. I reviewed everything, and they had solid credit. They had good income. They could afford the house. But like so many people right now, they didn't have any cash, or at least enough to save it up to get into a house. That was going to be the barrier. So what we did is I showed them how we can use down payment assistance program. And we selected one that gave us 4% towards the down payment. I also suggested we use an FHA loan because FHA allows the seller to pay 6% of the purchase price towards closing costs. So we did a combination of the 4% down payment assistance and then a seller credit to pay off the rest of the closing costs, and including taxes, insurance, the escrow account, everything, every fee related, every third party charge, including being able to pay a title if we needed to. We went in and grabbed $16,000. So here's the drill. The way it also worked was I explained to John and Mary that they weren't going to be able to go out and find a house that was just listed this weekend and get a seller to accept that offer, because they're going to want a full price offer the first weekend. I told them, let's go after houses that have a days on market of 30 days or more, where for whatever reason they're a nice house, but for whatever reason they didn't sell right away. And now we've got a seller that's softened up and there's an opportunity to negotiate. I went over more details with them, how this first time home is going to propel them either into a bigger move up buy or the beginning stages for them, or the first step in an investment property portfolio in which they could buy this house now and eventually rent it out. So the point was, it's an investment that you get to live in. It wasn't going to be their forever home the first time. So we connected with their agent and we explained, hey, this is what they're able to do. And the real estate agent executed it perfectly. We lost out on one offer, but the second time in, we found a house, got them under contract, and they were able to close on that house. Let me give you a quick example, like visually, of what this looks like for you. So, $356,000 house. Payment was about $34,000 or $27,000. The cash to close ended up being zero. When I set this up, it was like $40, so essentially zero, right? And then I also showed what would happen in about 24 months when rates come down. They're expected to come down into the fives, and how that payment would go all the way down to $26.75, a huge, big move lower. But here's the thing: they could afford this payment. That wasn't the issue. This was the issue. They needed nothing out of pocket. I also showed John and Mary, gave them a side-by-side cost analysis, but I showed them what their net worth would be in 2 years. So if you look at that, they put zero out of pocket, got creative, purchased a home in which in only 2 years is going to be worth about $45,000 of equity, because homes are going to appreciate at about 4% per year right now. That's the current level of appreciation. So if you're listening to this and you're one of my clients, keep in mind your kids, your grandkids, their friends, your nieces, your nephews, cousins, neighborhood kids, people that are in this area that have a chance to maybe buy a house, but the down payment's the problem. If they're open to a creative solution, this could work for them. And know that this isn't going to last. We have a housing shortage in Texas. We have actually a pretty severe housing shortage in Texas. And when rates do go down, these opportunities will be gone. So this is a unique moment in time to take advantage of that opportunity. And for my real estate agents I work with that get this as well, make sure you're reaching out the same way to your sphere and your database and your clients, and remind them of what's possible. And for you guys, all you really have to do is be open, be open to looking at those houses that are 30 days plus days on market and know you might have to make a couple offers to get the deal done. You have to find that seller that's willing to negotiate and give a concession, but rather than price, we'll use it to cover the closing. So if you have somebody that needs help, I'd love to also guide them so that they too have a mailbox attached to a house that they own, just like John and Mary. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.